3 things I did in my teens that set me up for success in my 20s. The first thing I started doing was I listened to people who were already accomplished in life and were already killing the game. You're not gonna learn anything from your peers at the time in your teens. Listen, all your teens are pretty much gonna be little fools running around, not knowing what they're gonna do with their lives, and maybe you're that way too, but it's time to clean up your act, it's time to get your life straight. And listen, there's time to have fun in your teens, but if you wanna have success in your 20s, you're gonna have to get things right. I would actually listen and ask questions from people. I was in a CEO program in my high school, and we would visit all these different companies. And the one thing that they really instilled was to ask questions. These business owners have been through it, and successful people, they usually don't just spurt out all the knowledge that they know. So asking questions, learning from them, maybe working for free, interning, doing cheap work just to get your foot in the door to learn and grow. Number 2, I knew I had to get to work on my own terms. I was working for a guy on his farm. He was an elderly man, and he taught me a lot about life and lessons and things like that. And I knew when I was sitting there scraping a fence one time, I had to go and scrape off old paint off this huge fence line all by myself. Listen, that was just one of the worst times because it was so mental. It wasn't even the physical. It was just, I knew I was just there for hours on end just to get some wage. And I knew that I would eventually need to start something and have leverage that I could either sell a lot of or be very valuable where I could charge a lot for my services. So I just continued to learn simple business practices, and I would dive deeper into technology, into photo and video gear. And eventually I told him, hey, I'm going to go do this thing full time. This is all I'm going to do. I'm going to do no other work besides this video stuff. And he didn't really understand it. There was kind of some, hurt feelings there because he didn't really know why I was leaving, but I knew it was time for me to part my way in this world. Number 3 is make sure to invest into yourself rather than investing in material things, maybe even the stock market in your teens. Listen, it's good to start then if you could do a little bit, but investing in yourself. And what I mean by that is I bought a $500 camera. I invested in myself, and then I got more gear. I got a new lens that was maybe $1,000. Eventually, over 6 months, I remember I upgraded my camera, and my parents were like, why are you upgrading? It's been 6 months. You just bought a camera. I'm like, no, I need this better camera for better video if I want to make more money. And I spent over $1,000, and then I bought a really expensive lens. And almost a year later, I had to upgrade again. There was a Sony a7R III that had hit the market that was super good in photo and video, and I had to get it, and it was really expensive at the time, and I got a really expensive Sony lens to go with it. It was like $5,000 or so for the total thing, and probably more than that for all the gear and all the stuff that I had been buying. But I knew I had to invest in myself. No trips, no crazy cars, no expensive clothes. I had to invest in myself and build. And how you do that is make sure that you are staying humble, and every time you're going to buy something, say, what is this really for? Is this to make me feel good? But why is it making me feel good? I'm going to share a story with you of when I was a very young boy. This is actually one of my first good entrepreneurial lessons and businesses that I did. If you ever remember those like paracord survival bracelets, they were like these braided paracord with like a buckle. Some people had like different colors and whatnot. Well, those are pretty hot when I was in junior high school. And I remember it was like 7th, 8th grade, I think 7th grade, I started making these. I had got some paracord. I went on YouTube and I learned how to braid these, and I was selling them at first for $6. And they were literally selling out. I would go to school, sell them all, come home, I would have to make more and go to school. Well, I realized I'm gonna up it, because if I have all these people buying them in all this time, and my dad was telling me, listen, you can charge more. So I charged $8 when I remember I was actually selling these in early class, and that's when all the kids like wanted the bracelets right before the day started. So they bring their cash from their parents or whatever, but they would bring me the cash. I would give them the bracelet, and it was just so funny because I had a kid come up. He's like, why would I buy your bracelet when I can go to Dollar General and get it for $2? And I'm like, well, supply and demand. People want these bracelets. I'm going to sell them for $8. And I knew that I needed a good cause to donate to, and a lot of the paracord survival bracelets were dealing with military and stuff like that. So I donated every bracelet that I sold. I donated $1 from every bracelet to the Wounded Warrior Project, which was a really good cause. And I went to a trade show that I set up for 3 days, and I made around $500, maybe $600 profit from that event. I was able to donate, I think, about $60. Some people had donated extra. And then I used that money to eventually get my camera. I had a t-shirt business when I was 16. It was Christian apparel. I sold over 320 shirts, which for me at the time was a lot. And I had good markup on them. And I was able to do the first order. Then I was able to sell them all and then have double my money. And then I was able to spend that again to get more shirts to double my money. So it was just a repetitive cycle until eventually I just dove into this video job full time. And now we have a full scale company with 4 employees, hopefully 5 soon. And it's me and my business partner as well. So we're traveling all over the world. And those are things that I really did in my teens that set me up for success in my 20s, and I can really thank my parents for a lot of that because of the things they were able to teach me and instill in me, as investing young, take care of yourself, be healthy. Another thing was my faith at the time. My dad got in a horrible car accident that led us into finally going to church and then having a relationship with God. And I believe all of these things have led up to where I'm at now in life. Good parents, grandparents, and support system that were there to help me along the way. And listen, if you guys don't have anybody, reach out to me. I'll give you guys any advice you want. Put it in the comments below. All of my stuff is in the description for my social medias of where you can reach out. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. And guys, please subscribe. I'm trying to do this so that you guys can learn. I'm trying to put out as much value as possible. I'm sitting on the floor in my bedroom currently in Nashville in my apartment because I didn't want to go to the studio, and I tried to make it look kind of cool. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so that I can maybe afford a studio one day.